when we came here in 1992, at that time, this church and the people we met, that was kind of who was there when our little family sort of became of age as a family, and we really started, things started working together for us. Nancy was very involved in fellowship activities, whether it was a Western hoedown at the retreat property or the 250th anniversary, or just all kinds of stuff like that. The kids went to weekday church school. They also went to preschool and kindergarten here, which was a big part of how they met kids in this community and how we met families in this. In the last few years, we've been through things we never thought had happened to us. A job loss and my cancer, and then the reoccurrence of the cancer. And it's been the church and those people. It's just amazing. Not every day do you have the strength to face all of it, and on those days there's people here who carry you, whether it's a pat on the back or a card or a meal or last week we had really good news at Duke, but before we went, here was a handwritten note from our good friends Dan and Sandy Jordan wishing us well, and it's just little moments like that we know that God is here, and a lot of times He's talking to us through these people at St. John's. So it's a really, really strong Christian community that has, for the last few years, carried us.
It's a family. It's not a church, just a church.
There's a whole silver lining to what we've been through in the last year and a half, which is it's made us stop and realize, what really is important and what's sort of the noise in our lives that it's, we just don't need to worry about it or concern ourselves with it. And we've had so much time with our own family, with our two children, with our extended family on both sides, and just with people of this congregation. And we've had the opportunity to just share the thought of, what if? Or, when? Where do we go? And where is God in all of this? And what's God's plan for me? And gosh, if I really only have X days left, am I really doing the right things for myself, for my family, for my relationship with God, and even for this congregation? And it's an odd thing. I mean, every 3 months when we go sit with that oncologist, it's nerve-wracking, but the time in between when we know we're trying to make sure that we make every minute count, that we are trying to do the things we know, or we believe God intends us to do, it's really, really enriching. That was the conversation we had with Rhodes and Jan, and actually Stan Jordan once again got roped in with us. But the day of the second diagnosis, we sat there and told Rhodes the prognosis was that on average I would have a year. And we talked about how to make it the most enriching time of our lives. There's a lot of anxiety, but there's a lot of comfort in knowing that we have spiritual backing and can build our relationship with God. This, again, is something that's truly evolved over our 28 years. When we got married, my upbringing had been in a different denomination, and I had some, as many people do, had some pretty awkward experiences around stewardship. At one point, our congregation would actually, at the end of the year, print a list of everyone's name and how much they gave to the church, and it was sort of an intimidation tactic. And when we got married, I used to notice that Nancy would, she'd say, well, I bought this card for so-and-so, or I bought this gift for so-and-so, and I'm like, well, we don't even know that. and she always had a giving heart, and when it came time to give to the church, I think she was more in tune with how to make those decisions than I was. And what I learned was, if you're going to give to anything, whether it's the church or another charity or the Boy Scouts or the Red Cross or the Hurricane Sandy Relief Fund, whatever it is, it has to be something that you really feel strongly about and have a passion for. And so if you're finding you don't have that desire to give, you need to back up and figure out why you don't have the passion and the desire. You need to find ways to become ingrained in the church. So if you find you don't have that desire, reach out and find simple ways to get involved. This is a community here, and at times you need to contribute to it, but at other times they're going to carry you. So if you find that you work your way into the community, the desire to give, the desire to help, whether it's time, talent, or possessions, will come.